Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel IT Guy AK. So in today's topic, we will learn about Samba. Below are the points which we will cover in this video. First of all, we will look into a brief introduction about Samba. We will learn what is Samba, Samba daemons, port numbers used by Samba, and Samba configuration file and Samba configuration files format. Then we will learn how to install and configure Samba on CentOS 8. And to configure Samba, we will use some scenarios. First, we will configure Samba share without any password authentication within a workgroup. Second, we will configure Samba share with a password authentication within a workgroup. And the third, we will create Samba admin account who have full rights to access any share with read, write, execute permissions within a workgroup. While configuring Samba, we will also learn how to set up permissions for our shares. So let's start. So let's talk about what is Samba. Samba is an open source software which enable file sharing, network browsing, printing services, and inter-process communication between Windows and Unix Linux operating systems. It works on SMB, short for Server Message Block, also known as CIFS, short for Common Internet File System Protocols. Samba can be integrated with Windows Active Directory as a domain controller or member. Samba daemons. There are three daemons which runs the Samba services. First is SMBD. This is the main daemon which is responsible for file sharing, printing services, and authentication queries. Second is NMBD. This understands and replies to NetBIOS name services requests, such as those produced by SMB CIFS in Windows-based environment. So basically, Windows uses NetBIOS services to resolve Windows machine name to its IP address, and Microsoft Windows uses SMB protocol's own version, which is known as CIFS protocol, for network sharing in Windows environment. And as we know, Samba also uses the SMB protocol, so it is easy for Samba to communicate with Windows machine with the help of NMBD daemon. The third one is WinBindD. The WinBindD service resolve user and group information on server running Windows NT 2000 or Windows Server 2003. So basically, this daemon is used in Windows domain environment. Protocols. Samba uses 137 to 138 and 445 port number, TCP ports 445 for AD and 139 for NetBIOS. UDP ports 137 for NetBIOS name services and 138 for NetBIOS datagram. The command shown in the screen can be used to find out the port numbers on which Samba runs. Samba tools. Samba have many tools which is used to manage Samba services. Some of those are net, PDB edit, profiles, testpalm, SMB password. In this tutorial, we will use testpalm and SMB password utilities. Samba configuration file. Samba's main configuration file can be found in /etc/samba/smb.conf. In this file, you have to define the sections and parameters in order to configure Samba server for share services. The section is the name of the share resource, and the parameter within the section defines the shares attribute. Parameter defines the specific attribute of a section. Parameters are defined under the sections. Here is an example of smb.conf file. There are some prerequisites to follow this tutorial. Make sure your both Windows and Linux machine should be in same network. Make your internet connection enabled to download and install some packages if required. You should have an updated Red Hat or CentOS 7 or 8 operating system with root or sudo privileges. If using VirtualBox Manager, then configure NAT network and enable port forwarding. So this is the file where I have write down all the commands. As I already said, our both machines, Windows client and Linux machine, should be on same network. This is my Linux CentOS 8 machine, and this is my Windows client machine. So let's check the IP address and try to ping both machines. As you can see that I am able to ping both machines. Now we are ready to install Samba. In order to install Samba, we have to perform system update first. Let's do that. As you can see that there is nothing to do. If you want to search what exact package name required in order to install Samba, just run command yum search Samba. It will provide the list of all packages which are related to keyword Samba. Required package name is this with a brief description. This is very helpful when you don't know the exact package name. All the dependencies will be resolved when we install Samba, so you don't need to install other packages. If you want more information about any specific package, run command yum info package name. So I copy this and try to know some more information about Samba package. Here you can see some more information about Samba packages. Run this command to install required packages. Samba client is for Samba client machine, but I'm also including this one. You can skip this if you want. It will take some time, so I skip this here. So our Samba packages has been installed. Now just start the Samba services. Run these commands to start Samba services. And then enable Samba services so they can auto start at the boot time. After that, check the status of Samba services. Now we have to enable ports on which Samba communicate outside. If you want to know port numbers that Samba uses to communicate outside, just run this command. As you can see, these are the port numbers required by Samba. Basically, we need to enable only two ports, 139 and 445. So run these two commands. After that, add Samba service in firewall tool. So it should be allowed by firewall. So now we are ready to perform our first scenario. Configure Samba share with read, write, execute permissions for any user within a workgroup without a password. For this, first of all, we have to create the directory which we will share to Windows client. Run this command. After that, we have to set the permissions. Change ownership to nobody. This will confirm that none have the ownership of our public share. Set permissions to 755, which means user have full rights and group owner and other have only read execute rights. Now set the SE Linux permissions for Samba services. Run this command to set SE Linux to allow our shared directory for Samba services. If you need to know more SE Linux switches for Samba share, run this command. Here you can find all the switches that you may need to configure your Samba for advanced services. And this is the command that you need to enable or disable these switches. And here is an example. To know more about these, just Google it. We don't need right now to enable these switches, so skip this for now. Now we have to configure smb.conf file. Path of the smb.conf file is /etc/samba/smb.com. You can find the default parameters in this file. Here is an example file named smb.conf.example, which is helpful for you if you want to configure your Samba server yourself. Just back up the default configuration file in case you need it. Then edit smb.conf file and delete all the parameter it has. I am copying these configuration parameters. Copy these parameters from the descriptions link where I have also explained about these parameters. Save this and exit. After that, just run command test palm. If everything is okay, then reload the Samba services and get your server's IP address. Either you can access share with the IP address or with the NetBIOS name which we have defined in the smb.conf file. As you can see that we are able to access our Samba share without any password. And we are able to create any file and directory inside this share. Make sure your network settings are okay. If you have configured DNS, put DNS entries in the network configuration of Windows client machine. Otherwise, put IP address, subnet mask and gateway. Verify your files on Samba server. That's all you need to configure Samba to access share without password authentication for any user. Now in our second scenario, we will create a Samba share with the password authentication within a work group. For this, we need a user and a group which we use to authenticate our share. To create a user, just run this command. It will create a new user, name SMB user with modify attributes, no login access, and a custom directory path. Just execute this command. After that, set password for SMB user. Enter password. Once you set the password, create a new group named SMB group for our share. If you want to add more users, then you can put those users in this group. By this only, the member of SMB group can access this share. Here I am adding SMB user in this group. Now we have to create a directory. Run this command. It will create a directory in same path that we specified for SMB users home directory. So actually we are sharing this user's home directory, so only this user should have access for this home directory. Change the ownership to the user with this command. Now change the permissions, only the users and group will have full permissions. Now set SC Linux to grant access to this share for SMB services. So here is the main turn. To authenticate users, we have to add our user to SMB password database. Run this command smb password space -a smb user to add smb user in its database list. Run this command to enable user. Now append or edit our smb.conf file. Just open the file. Do not delete previous configuration, just append the new configuration parameters. Again, you can read about these parameters in the given link in the description of this video. Here, disabling this admin user parameter, we need this parameter in our next scenario. Save this file and exit. Now run testpalm command to verify our configuration. If your configuration is okay, then reload the SMB services. Now go to your Windows machine and try to access the share with the NetBIOS name of the server or with the IP address. So here you can see we are able to access the share. Now try to log in, apply the correct username and password. You can see we are able to log in to that share. Now try to create some file and folders. You can further verify these files or folder from your server side in the same path. So now we reached at our third and final scenario. Here we will create a Samba admin account and share and give him full access of all shares. For this, first of all, we will create an admin account named SMB admin. We intentionally change the home directory for SMB admin user and also set the no login access. Set the password for SMB admin. Now create the directory which we have set the home directory for the SMB admin user. Change the ownership for the directory. And set the permission for this directory. Now satisfy the SC Linux to grant this directory to share for Samba services. Now add the SMB admin user to SMB database. Enable user. Now edit the smb.conf file. Add these parameters in the existing file. Do not delete existing configuration. Read about these parameters from given link in the description. Enable the admin users parameter in the previous password enabled share. Also add the SMB admin user in valid users parameters. Do not need to specify anything in the public share. Clear the data section. Save and exit. Run the test palm command. If configuration is okay, then restart the services. Now go to Windows Client Machine. Access Samba Share Services. As you can see that there is no SMB admin share folder here. This is because if you check the SMB configuration file in SMB admin section, we have explicitly specified browsable is equal to no. This means our share will not visible, but we can access the share with the absolute path. Just type in the address bar /itguy/SMBadmin and hit enter. Enter the ID password of SMBadmin and you are inside the SMBadmin share. Now try to create a file here. As you can see, we are able to create the file. Go back and try to access the other password enabled share. You will be able to access all shares and also able to create files and folders. If you want to verify files on server side, you can do that also. Just run this command. Here you can find that the file we have created from Windows machine, but there is some misconfiguration in the file ownership. We are getting root as file owner, but we want SMBadmin as file owner. To fix this, just open smb.conf file. Under the SMBadmin section, specify the parameter inherit owner is equal to yes. This will inherit the ownership from the parent directory. Same again, specify inherit permissions is equal to yes. This will inherit permissions from the parent directory. Save and exit. Reload SMB services. Now try to create a file under the SMBadmin share. And check again the ownership from the server side. Still not reloaded. So we have to log off the Windows client machine and check again. Log into SMBadmin share. Delete old files. Create new one. And check from the server side. So here you go. Ownership has been fixed. This is how we can install and configure the Samba server. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe this channel.